swaggy, that's how I roll. On another level, on another level, on another one above me. Stepping through the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. Feeling so supreme. On another level, on another one above me. Stepping through the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. Cream. On another level, on another level, on another one above me. Stepping through the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. On another level, on another one above me. Stepping through the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. Cream.
It's a beautiful day to play some golf. A beautiful day to play some golf. Oh, hello golfers and golfettes. I didn't see you there. Isn't today a great day to play some golf? Will you play with me? My handicap is a 16. But I sure can drive it far off the tee. I'm part of the 300 club, you know. That's a long way from the tee box. Will you play with me? Can I be your plus one? Can I be part of your foursome? Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my golf partner? Welcome back to another episode of It's Always Tea Time. I'm your host, Robert A. Pritchard, and if you eat, sleep, and breathe golf like I do, you're in the right place. You're in the right place, baby. Twice a week, every Monday and Friday, we'll break down the latest golf news, hot takes, betting insights, and even get into some golf instruction with a PGA Pro. And of course, we're keeping it fun because let's be real, golf is a game, and games should be played for fun. Before we dive into this week's action, I want to start with a little transparency. We appreciate your patience as we work to bring this podcast to life week after week. We are building an entire set that will soon become the official home of It's Always Tea Time. Until then, you might see episodes coming from our temporary studio, the golf course, or even remote setups. Either way, we promise to bring you solid content, insight, and a few laughs along the way. And hey, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let us know how we can make the show better. And you're probably wondering, where the heck am I at with this background sitting behind me? This episode, as well as the next two, are being shot on remote in Dongguan, that's right, let me say it again, Dongguan, China, which is about an hour or so outside of Hong Kong. I've got some business interests here. As well, we're going to get some golf in. You can't go on vacation and not play any golf. So we're gonna get that golf action in. Photos and videos of some of the courses and my time here in Dongguan will come in the next couple of episodes. Now let's get into it. This week, we're breaking down the Snake Pit Meltdown at the Valspar Championship. Also, we're gonna talk about Jiménez's tight finish at the Hoag Classic. And then we're also gonna talk about Richard Mansell's birdie that literally dropped out of the sky at the Porsche Singapore Classic. Let's tee it up. Act number one. The golf recap, which is our weekend on the greens. We start out with the Valspar Championship Copperhead course in Florida. Let's start with the drama in the Snake Pit. It looked like smooth sailing for Justin Thomas on Sunday. Everything was going as planned. After a blistering 65 on Saturday, JT had a 2-shot lead heading into hole number 16. He was 7 birdies deep through 15, and then the Snake Pit, it struck him. Bogey on 16, par on 17, another bogey on hole number 18. And just like that, a near flawless round unraveled in the final stretch. JT still finished 5 under on the day, but those 2 bogeys at the end, that was the difference. He went from likely winner to runner-up. That performance and down the stretch is a perfect example of the highs and lows and the ups and downs of the game of golf. On the flip side, Viktor Hovland stayed composed and birdied 2 of the last 3 holes, including 18, to pull ahead by 1 stroke. Viktor came into the week ranked 137th, and he left at a projected 26. That's what you call a bounce. Despite the collapse, you must credit JT in all this. The changes that he made over the offseason, mentally and physically, are definitely showing in his game. His game looks sharper. He's definitely trending in the right direction. And then there's Billy Horschel. He not only tied for 4th at 8 under, but he also pulled off what might be the shot of the weekend, a left-handed recovery from the rough. That's right, a righty going lefty mid-tournament, straight out of a trick shot video. And guess what? Both JT and Billy turned right around and led the Atlanta Drive to a 1-stroke win over the New York Golf Club in the first TGL Finals match on Monday night. The Hoag Classic, PGA Tour of Champions, the ageless wonder Miguel Ángel Jiménez was back at it, puffing cigars and rolling down putts. He battled down the stretch and edged out Stuart Sink by a single stroke to win the Hoag Classic at 15 under. It wasn't flashy, but it was classic Miguel, steady and smooth down the clutch on hole number 18. That win marked his 15th, that's right, 15th on the Champions Tour. And last but not least, the Porsche Singapore Classic on the DP World Tour stage. Over in Singapore, Richard Mansell came out on the top at the Porsche Classic. He dropped a birdie from the sky on the final hole and held on for the win. The DP World Tour doesn't always make the headlines, but this one did. Mansell's composure was next level. And that putt on 18, picture perfect. All right, let's talk about odds. The betting corner and cash. Last week, my 2 picks, Akshay Bhatia didn't play. He was a scratch. Xander Schauffele, he bounced back nicely, tying for 12th at 5 under. A solid finish after a tough outing the week before. Let's talk numbers. Viktor Hovland was plus 5,000 heading into the tournament. So if you bet $100, you walked away with 5 stacks. 5 stacks meaning $5,000. Justin Thomas was plus 1,400. He was a close call, but no payout if you took him to win the tournament. And then Billy Horschel, he was a sleeper pick at plus 10,000. A big long shot, but he definitely made it exciting. This is one of the weeks where the long shot bettors cashed in and the big names, they just missed the final line. The Florida swing is done for now. What's coming up? We move out to the Wild Wild West, but we're gonna still stay here in the dirty South. For the Texas Children's Houston Open at Memorial Park Golf Course, the field stacked as tall as me. I would stand up, but I'll be out of the frame because I'm that tall and I'm that stacked. World number 1, Scottie Scheffler is back. Number 2, Rory McIlroy also joins the hunt. Rounding out the top 5 is Aaron Rai, Tony Finau, and JJ Spaun. The betting odds for the Texas Children's Houston Open. Scottie Scheffler, he's at plus 330. Rory McIlroy, plus 700. Aaron Rai, plus 2,800. JJ Spaun is at plus 3,300. and Tony Finau is at plus 3,500. This is going to be a real test before the Masters. All those big shots that missed last week, they're definitely playing this week. Okay, now for my picks. Last week, I was way off on the top 2 picks, with one being a scratch. This week, my dark horse, Scotty Scheffler, AKA God's golfer, with my sleeper pick, Wyndham Clark. Yes, I said it, Wyndham Clark. No deep reasoning, I just got a gut feeling about this one. And for context, Peter Malnati was last year's champ here. Look, I don't claim to know Texas golf inside and out, but something tells me Memorial Park is going to bring the heat this weekend. All right, big shout out to our sponsors, the golf company, Elevate Your Golf, Volt Apparel, Performance Tees and Sportswear, the Pritchard Family Foundation, the Cactus Mine and Wealth Collective, Solomon and Pritchard Enterprises Incorporated, and also the King Performance. Go to their website, thekingperformance.com. Supplements galore for both men and women. We're also going to break down the Houston Open and recap the TGL League Finals. Will Billy and Justin lead the ATL drive to the TGL Cup? We'll find out next week. You have to tune in to find out. Remember to like this, subscribe to it, and share it. Like, subscribe, share. And remember, keep your drives long and your putts true, because it's always tea time somewhere. Say it with me, team. It's always tea time. All right, we're back. And today's segment is Conversation with the Golf Pro. I'm with my good friend here, Tim Conley. Tim, PGA Tour, PGA Champions Tour, all around SME, subject matter expert when it comes to the game of golf. Anything you need to know about golf, Tim is your guy. How you doing, Tim?
I'm good, bro.
Good to see you. All right, so with this podcast, I believe it's important to not only talk about golf, but also learn more about golf. You know, I'm an amateur guy. I come out here, I hack the ball around, but the techniques and the strategies of really being good, I was never trained at that. So with you, I want you to give us some insight on, you know, from an instructional standpoint, what us amateurs really need to focus on in the game of golf.
One of the first things that I've always taught, I've been teaching a lot in the past 10 years as I'm a little older than when I was playing, but the first and the most important thing I've always taught was gripping the club correctly.
Okay.
The club face is what gets the ball at your target.
Okay.
If your grip is bad, the club face isn't going to be correct.
Okay.
That's the most important thing, and then you worry about the swing path, where to play the ball, and the other 40 more things that go along with all the instructions.
Definitely. You know, golf is a game, and I'm still considered a newbie. I've only been playing about 6 years now. But for most people that are really good or, you know, pretty decent at golf, they've been playing their entire life. So even at the age of 50, I'm still playing catch up with this game. All right, Tim, so you talk about hand placement as an important technique on learning the game. Show us what you got.
Okay. The most important thing in golf is holding the club correctly.
Most important. Number one.
If you don't hold it correctly, you can have a good swing and the ball will still go left or right.
Okay.
If you have a bad swing and hold it, you'll probably not want to play much, or you got to call it.
Okay.
Okay. So the most important thing about the grip, I'd like for you to hold it in your fingers, not in the palm of your hand. Hold it in the fingers, and there's a little heel pad of useless. No one's ever determined what that was for.
Okay. Maybe it was for this game
for golf. Yeah, about 2,000 years ago. Yeah. So when you hold the club in your fingers, this little heel pad will go on top of the club. And you should probably see 2 knuckles on your left hand.
Okay.
Now, when you look down, not that's cheating, but when you look down, I want you to see 2 knuckles. The club will be in the fingers of the left hand, and that little heel pad will go on top.
Okay.
Now you got a really good lock. So, let's say you're right-handed. I need your left hand to be a little stronger and help out.
Okay.
You see tennis players once in a while stick another hand on there to help. In the golf swing, it's not all right hand, it's both hands.
Okay.
So we need the left hand to be strong. So if you can see 2 knuckles, some say that's a strong grip. I think that's just fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now, right hand, you can interlock, you can overlap. Some like all 8 fingers.
Yeah, I tried that interlocking method, and it just didn't work.
Interlocking is for longer fingers.
Okay.
I'm sorry, short fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And longer fingers would just be an overlap with the little finger in between the 2.
Gotcha.
Okay. The key to this is that the right hand is almost on there like you're shooting a gun.
Okay.
Now, I would like to see these 2 touch each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If the right hand is underneath and the thumb is there, that's a very strong grip. They're not touching. So we want the palm of the right hand going towards our target, along with the face, and usually the back of the left hand. So if you got those 3 going for you in the golf grip, you got a really good chance to hit a good shot. Okay. Actually, 50%.
50%.
Your grip is good, your face is square. You got 50%.
Those are great odds in the game of golf.
Yeah. Now we're going to get someone. Next time we'll get the golf path, and now you get a good path and a good face, and all day long.
Okay, Tim, that was a great instructional on what I really don't consider or did not consider as an extreme importance in the game of golf, the grip. And you say that's the number 1 strategy or technique in learning the game.
I believe in when professionals in the teaching industry, when they do outings and clinics and camps for kids and all that, the first thing they always talk about is how to hold the ball.
Cool. That's good. Let me ask you just a couple questions and pick your brain as a subject matter expert in the game of golf. All right, mental focus. That's a big thing now with the new generation of golfer. Your Jordan Spieths, your Justins, your Bryson DeChambeau, in terms of being able to stay locked in mentally on the course. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. There has to be some physical ability. But the mental part, when you want to take your game to another level, people play golf for a lot of reasons. Some of them do it for exercise. Some of them do it so they can drink. Some do it because they want to improve their score. And some play golf just so they can hit that great shot one time or 2 times.
Would you suggest someone that is teetering along the edge of attempting to be pro or turn pro or a really good amateur have either a sports psychologist or a therapist as part of their team to help elevate them in the game of golf? Is it that serious?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are professionals that you've seen on TV for 20 years. Some have their own chef with their trainer and their sports psychologist and their manager, agent, and maybe some family.
Right. Wow. So the old school method of just pure grit, grind, work ethic, and talent, that just doesn't get it anymore.
It helps, but we used to always we would say it. We used to dig it out in the dirt, which would be 1,000 balls a day, and then we chip 200 balls and putt 200 balls, and then do it again the next day.
Yeah. Cool. This is a new generation of golfers. I'm considered an OG in the game now. Where the younger cats, they look at me as their uncle or their dad, and all they're concerned about is hitting the crap out of the ball, hitting it as far as you can. Your Bryson DeChambeaus, your Rory McIlroys, and even when Tiger was, at his heyday in the game, he was a pretty long ball hitter. But it seems like now the game is moving more towards get the distance over the accuracy in the game. What's your opinion about that?
My first probably 25, 30 years of playing, there were only a handful of guys that hit the ball a long way, and then John Daly came along, and then he even hit it further. So I always said if I could pick up my ball and throw it 50 yards further, I would be a better golfer.
Okay.
There's only a few golfers that were not very far in length that were became great players. The two greatest, obviously, are Tiger and Jack, and they were very long hitters. So that does help.
Okay.
But this game now, with these new athletes like your size, they're hitting it so far.
Okay.
But you got to hit it in the fairway.
Right, definitely. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I'm an honest guy. I don't hit it in the fairway the majority of the time. If I had to put a number on it, I would say, looking at my scorecard at the end of the round, I'm probably, hitting 5 fairways off the tee. So you take, of course, you've got 14 holes where you've got 4 or 5. You got to pull out your big stick. I'm hitting them. I'm hitting 4 of them. Yeah. And so I've got this up and down game now that I got to try to perfect. So you're telling me, like, okay, if you can't not only smack it, but also smack it in the fairway, then don't go after that in terms of your practicing of the game.
Yeah, that 350 drive is really good, but if you only get 1 a day in the fairway, you might want to come back down to 300.
Okay.
And if you can get 5 in the fairway, that's a little better.
Right.
But if you're still on the PGA Tour or Champions Tour, you're playing out of rough.
Yeah.
You can't hit 7 irons out of the rough to a front pin with a fast, hard green.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I was playing in a tournament. It was actually the Georgia Golf Association tournament that, they have these round robins and all that. And the first drive, amazing. It was like God was like, send it far. And I sent it. But after that, shank, left, hook. And so one of the guys in my group, he said, hey, brother, I know you like that big stick, but don't bring it out the bag no more. Keep that big stick in the bag, get an iron off the tee, and don't feel ashamed that everybody else in the driver, at the very least, you'll be able to keep the game going and, have a better score. So I have learned at moments where if the driver, the big dog, is failing me, then I need to keep that in the bag and pull out, a high iron or a hybrid and work with that so I can start making a good score.
And there's so many golf courses now that have trick holes or dog legs around lakes and all that. Many years ago, every hole was 425 yards and it was straight.
Right.
Now they're short ones with a lake and out of bounds or around the ocean or whatever. It gets a little more to where you got to place the ball certain times. You can't just keep hitting it 380 yards.
True.
But once you do hit that first one on the first hole, 380, you know what you're doing on the second hole?
What am I
trying
doing?
to hit it 400.
Exactly. You already know. You already know. And the course that we're at now, it's the Legends. It's a great historic course, and with that, there's a lot of adulation. Number one, and number two, there's a lot of distance to this course. So most of the members and the guys that come out here, they're trying to send it as far as they can. All right, Tim. So this weekend, we just finished with the Valspar, which I told you last week. I played that course in 2023. And what Justin did on Sunday, I did the same thing going through the snake pick, but even worse. I had like a triple bogey on 16, and I think I had a snowman on 18.
Some of those did that this past week too. You just didn't see them.
Yeah, exactly. And I left that course. I was like, man, I just wasted so much money on this final day, because you know how the golf vacations go. You get to play the premier course like that final day. It's either play that course the first day or it's the last day. And the group of guys I was with, we played the last day and everybody was hyped up. Oh, we're playing Copperhead. And the Valspar had just left like 2 weeks prior. So we were all hyped up, and a lot of us left with egg on our face at the end of that day.
Did you get to play the course when they still had some of the stands around you?
I did.
That's different. A lot of people don't get to experience that.
Yeah, definitely. I played Torrey Ponds the Monday after the, what's the tournament at Torrey Ponds? The Forum is open.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what they're doing now is that round 4 ends on Saturday so that they can do the APGA on that Sunday, and then they allowed us amateurs, you know, just novice guys to come in there and play on that Monday. So that was a good experience. Yeah. All right, so this weekend we've got the Texas Children's Houston Open. You know, back in the day it was just called the Houston Open, but now you got the hospital associated with it. So you got the Houston Open this weekend. You got all the big dogs back in this weekend. You got your Scotty, your number 1. You got your Rory, your number 2. You've got pretty much all those that didn't play last weekend. They're playing weekend. Scotty, he's 3-1 odds right now. I think Rory is like maybe 4 or 5-1. So good odds on those. But
They're going to play good. I think someone's going to sneak right by them.
Okay.
Yeah. There's incentives to still get in the Masters too.
Definitely. Someone like Aske Batia, maybe Tony Finau. When is he going to show his game to be that top tier level?
I don't.
Does
know.
he have it in him?
Well, I don't think Tony was a all-world player when he was 12 or 15 or 20. I think he's, you know, some guys when they get out on tour, they're superstars and they're 22 years old. Some are 25 or 27. And there are some that are in their 30s when they start playing better.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to be patient with Tony.
So golf, the way I interpret that is, unlike a lot of other sports, because it doesn't happen in football, definitely doesn't happen in basketball, golf can be a sport where a late bloomer can have some success.
Yes.
Sometimes, folks, that's all you need is a little encouragement, somebody to give you a little hope. And I just got some.
Yeah, and I'll see you on the range tomorrow. Yeah, okay.
All right. Hey, it's been great. Tim, thank you. Conversations with a Golf Pro. He's here pretty much every day here at the Legends of Chateau Elan. Come out, see him, get some golf instruction. You know, we'll put all his contact information in the feed, as well as, you know, he's a professional. Like, you can Google this guy. He's got a Wikipedia page. So this guy is pretty big stuff. So come see Tim for some really good golf instruction. Until next week, you know what time it is. It's always tee time. I'm always on tee time. What time is tee time? It's always tee time.